You can now file your taxes on time. The IRS is clearing up some confusion after advising taxpayers to wait to file their tax returns. The agency now says it's decided not to tax most states' stimulus checks from 2022, which had prompted that delay.
Now, of course, there are some exceptions. So the agency says it is best to consult your state and/or tax preparer. In all, 21 states issued special relief checks to residents last year for a number of different reasons. For instance, in California, most residents received a middle-class tax refund to offset those record-high gas prices.
Folks, we got a ton of news about the fourth stimulus check and Social Security benefits that you have to know. We got a ton of news just for you, so continue watching this video. You don't want to miss out on this. So folks, I believe that President Biden can make a stimulus check and send it out before the end of the year. Do you believe that he will? Tell me in the comments. There is exciting news. The top Democrats are working together to propose a new relief plan. It will provide millions of families with extra cash every month. These payments could be worth as much as $600. Now, there may be strict requirements for eligibility, and also millions of families benefited by the expanded child tax credit. In order to help out President Biden's trillion-dollar stimulus law, it's a $2 trillion stimulus law. Hundreds of thousands of more employees without dependent children also received increased payments under the law, which increased tax credits going to low and middle income workers. The figures were released by the Biden administration as it neared the first anniversary of the stimulus law, passed a year ago over the unanimous Republican opposition. Biden signed the bill, which also included $1,400 directly to Americans who need it the most. So that's a good way to get started with your fourth stimulus check. So it's good to see people can get stimulus. The figures were released by the Biden administration as it neared the first anniversary of the stimulus law, passed over a year ago over unanimous Republican opposition. Biden signed the bill and restored at least $1,400 directly payments to most Americans. I also want to say the payments were about $1.75 trillion of the $2 trillion stimulus bill. So a lot of money went to those in need. A lot of money went to expanding healthcare coverage, lowering child care and prescription costs. The latest data report shows that thousands of additional Americans became eligible for relief payments since the law was signed. That includes families who had children in 2021, as well as those who did not take advantage of receiving half their credit in monthly payments and preferred to claim the entire amount when they filed their tax returns this year. But Democratic Senator Cory Booker recently stated that these were the resources toward working families that can make a big difference in people's lives. It can help out those who need the most. It can help out people who need help. First of all, Democratic Senator Cory Booker has recently stated that people can expect to get stimulus cash, people can expect to get stimulus money pretty soon. Found that the relief payments did not even discourage the parents for looking back into work. And the U.S. Census Bureau reported that around half those receiving the checks spent some of it on food, about 40% on the rent and mortgage, and 30% on school supplies. Senator Booker is already helping to lead the effort on Capitol Hill to restore the extra relief payments and to restore the money to those who need it. Folks, do you need a fourth stimulus? Tell me in the comments. New Mexico and other states and congressional Democrats are trying to come up with a bill that Manchin can still vote for, without losing the backing of others who may abandon that support. If certain provisions are excluded, federal deduction will happen for the federal and state local taxes. Known as SALT. It was capped at around $10,000, but now the New Mexico state residents are actually trying to fix things up. Because now New Mexico has enacted a new state-level child tax credit that will provide benefits to every single child throughout the state, increasing the credit to an even a more abundant amount of people in America. This means that around $750 to $1,500 is expected to go to you and the people that need the most. You can be getting a lot of stimulus cash, everybody, and a whole bunch of stimulus money will be headed straight into your bank. President Biden is doing all that it takes.
Debate and advance good ideas no matter where they come from. And in that spirit, Democrats will be offering the Senate Republican appropriations legislation to reopen government later today. Too many families who wonder in this time of innovation and globalization we will make our community safer and keep our sacred promise.
In New York, a $2.1 billion stimulus fund has also been established to benefit workers who were excluded from getting federal aid for the past 2 years. In order to receive more stimulus relief money, eligible residents must have had an annual income of less than $26,000 in 2020. So now everybody, a huge raise is coming soon for millions of Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and VA beneficiaries. The president has just announced his new legislation, and this will greatly affect senior citizens and Social Security recipients across the nation. Lawmakers in the House of Representatives and also the Senate want to move the bill forward as quickly as possible, everybody. So continue watching this video to learn the most up-to-date, reliable, and trustworthy stimulus check and Social Security news. Remember folks, the whole goal of this channel is to provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check information. I want to be sure that everybody receives the most up-to-date stimulus check news because many things are happening in Congress. Now, for years, seniors on Social Security have been forced to grapple with low cost of living adjustments or COLAs. And these COLAs have caused beneficiaries to lose buying power. So folks, this year Social Security recipients finally got the larger COLA boost that they've been waiting for. And this is a 5.9% boost that took effect at the start of 2020. And now beneficiaries of Social Security could see another big change very soon to their monthly benefits. Listen to this folks because it starts to get very interesting. President Biden recently revealed a proposed budget for 2023. And that includes $14.8 billion for Social Security. That is roughly a 14% increase from funding levels allocated in 2021. Economists have even said that the increase can help improve the program's services for millions of Americans. Biden's proposal would also include a $224 million increase that would go toward ensuring Social Security and Medicare provide the right benefits to those who qualify, and that funds are spent responsibly. Some of the extra money would actually go toward supporting the investigation of fraud, based on recent inflation data. The Senior Citizens League is estimating that seniors on Social Security could be in line for a 7.6% COLA increase in 2023, and this would mean a larger monthly benefit increase. However, everybody, that increase to monthly checks will not be enough. According to the Senior Citizens League, a nonpartisan advocacy group, the letter sent to members of both the House of Representatives and the Senate said the group is ramping up its calls for new $1,400 checks to be sent at once to Social Security beneficiaries. The letter stated, "We believe that a special stimulus for Social Security recipients could help defray the higher cost that some would face if next year's COLA bumps them into a higher tax bracket, causing higher tax rates on their income and surcharges to their Medicare Part B premiums." Also folks, listen to this. There are only a few more weeks left. They'd love to file your tax return or request an extension. The tax deadline is April 18th, but if you have already filed your tax return and are expecting a refund, it is arrive in about 21 days. And if you use direct deposit and filed electronically, I know some of you have also said that it has been 3 weeks since you filed and you still haven't received a refund. Well, the IRS, everybody, has announced this. It is said that there are some tax refunds that may take a little longer. The agency has cited a number of common factors that can cause your tax refund to be delayed. First, the IRS is cautioning taxpayers not to rely on receiving a refund by a certain date, especially when making major changes or purchases and even paying bills. You should also be aware, everybody, that it can take the bank several days to process the deposit before it hits your bank account. Now, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer have found some big ways to get Joe Manchin on board with the fourth stimulus check being sent out. As I said in my previous video,